everybody, I'm Donna Frasca and welcome to Mornings with a Medium. One of the questions that I'm asked a lot is, how does this mediumship stuff work? How's it work? I mean, how do you know when it's working? How do you know it's mediumship and not your imagination? And what is this fascinating world of mediumship and how's it work? I'm going to share some stories with you today. And it's going to explain just a little bit of how mediumship works. I want to first start by saying that, and I tell this to everybody who asks, the first thing that you really need to do is to hone in on your senses, all your senses: sight, sound, taste, hearing, seeing, feeling, everything. Because without those senses being as sharp as they can be, you kind of got to start on a lower level. Now, once you practice your awareness, self-awareness, then suddenly this mediumship magic kind of floats up here a little bit higher. It's like easier to connect with or to get or to understand. Okay. So basically, in a nutshell, is first start with your senses, and then the second thing I recommend is to keep your vibration high. When you are in a place of joy, and this sounds so, typical of everything that you read in the books, but when you're in that place of joy or just being happy, your vibration is high. And I don't know how it works, but it works. Okay? Regardless of what all the books say, it's what's in here that will guide you as to, okay, how am I going to do this? So, and you'll find it through patterns, as you experience things, just stop for a moment and say, wow, I believe I had a really amazing connection because of all those coincidences. I'll get to that in a minute. What was I doing at the time? How was I feeling? What was I wearing? What was I eating? Who was I speaking with? Where was I that in that moment of time, that connection was really strong? So, and again, I have two stories to tell. One's called The Crystal Shop, and one is called The Ride Home. All right, so to keep your vibration high, I mean, some people work really hard at it. They sit there and they meditate, and they're like, okay, in my mind, I'm picturing something amazing. Back in the day, I would say, yeah, meditate, because you really need to meditate. Meditation is great. But what I'm finding out, meditation is, people say, okay, you have to meditate to be the best, psychic, or medium that you can be. But it's kind of a little bit different. I meditate, and it differs for everybody, guys. I meditate because it's good for me. Okay, it calms my mind. It gives me. It's kind of like if you're swimming and you're tired and you're running out of breath. Maybe you went down, underneath the water and you grab some rocks and you're running out of breath. And then you come up to the top of the water and you take that first breath and you're like, whoa, that was really awesome. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Meditation is like a breath of fresh air for yourself. Just, cause I find myself like throughout the day, if I'm getting my hose in a twist or I just feel unconnected with myself, then I'll just stop. Maybe I'll hold a crystal. Actually, today's crystal of choice is clear quartz. Very drawn to this lately. So whatever crystals that you are drawn to, and I'm going to talk about that a second in the story called The Crystal Shop, hold on to it and work with it, or just be in its presence. So raising your vibration, again, it's like, breathing, taking time out throughout the day, taking a deep breath and relaxing. And it just clears my mind. And it's only for like maybe a minute. That's it. No, I mean, I've known people who meditate for 5 hours. I'm sorry, that's not meditation, that's sleeping. I don't care what you tell me. There's people that I know that go into dark closets and they sit there on their closet floor in the dark and meditate. I've done that too, where I'm in a dark space, usually with a blindfold. I'm usually in my room, but I put a blindfold on. And yes, amazing things happen. So there's different forms of meditation, different reasons why you meditate, but we're talking about mediumship here. Mediumship, again, is taking care of this body, your body, okay? Once this body becomes a fine-tuned tool, then you're on your way to connecting to the other side. Yeah, that sounds kind of weird, connecting to the other side, or just connecting with spirit, or just being on the same level, being open to the spirit world. All right, so raising the vibration, being in your joy. So let me start talking about the crystal shop story, and then it'll be you can understand a little bit what I'm talking about. Okay, so this past weekend, July 14th weekend, my birthday. Thank you very much. Hubs and I went out to our home in the mountains. We have a cabin. And the past year and a half, maybe 2 years or so, have been challenging. I'm going to segue briefly into another video I did about, back in 2020, I was visited by my guide. Hold on, I just happen to have a painting here. My guide, who looks like this, pale face, red hair, and she said the next 4 years are going to be very challenging. Now I repeat the story because it's highly important. She says to me, and she appeared to me, I was out and about in another state, walking around among people, and boom, right in front of me, in plain sight. With my third eye, but it was a cross between my third eye and a physical eye that I saw her. She was standing right in front of me. Anyway, the next 4 years, she says, will be very challenging and difficult. And right away, I'm like, am I going to get sick? No, she's not. You're not going to get sick. But it will be very difficult. Then at the end of the 4th year, in 2024, it's going to be smooth sailing for the rest of your life. Okay, we're in 2023 now. A lot has hit the fan. I'm not going to go into details because I think I talked about it in other videos. You can see that on YouTube. A lot has hit the fan. A lot. More than I've ever experienced in my 61 years. And it's starting to just wind up now. We're 2023, the end of the 3rd year, coming into the 4th year, just like she predicted for me. And it feels so good. And not only did I get a heads up of my future, which I appreciate, thank you, guide, whoever you are, but it gave me a roadmap of how to expedite my journey. So anyway, a lot has happened. We're coming into and it's a new beginning. I think we're in a new moon now. I stopped looking at my moon apps. I just know how I feel, going back to senses, that because I feel so good. And I'm usually very psychic between the new moon, full moon. I think we're in the new moon now, but it just feels so good. I feel definitely like everything that I've experienced decades ago is now kind of spliced away, and now there's new decades to look forward to. Very hard to explain, very crystal clear. All right, so as I come up on my 4th year, my new beginnings, my journey, my mediumship experiences, my angel experiences, my personal experiences, my journey, for lack of a better word, is you know, leaving the back burner and coming, you know, up front. Crystal shop. Okay, so like I said before, we were in the mountains in our cabin, which is another freaky story of how that came to be. You know, I'm going to write a note to tell you about the cabin. Okay, that's going to be another video because I like to keep these 20 minutes or less. I'm kind of in 10 minutes now. Okay, the cabin. That'll be another video. So we're exploring, you know, the town, you know, in the mountains, actually in the foothills, and there's a crystal shop, you know, 15 minutes maybe from the house. And we go in, and I've been in there before, but this particular day, no, I didn't have a lot of time because we were on our way to do something else. But so I told, I you know, walked in a very small place, like this little, you know, twice the size of this room, very small. And I'm looking around. I'm trying to buy crystals for somebody for Christmas. Yes, I shop for Christmas year round, and I wanted to get something for myself because I left my jewelry at the house and my bracelet, and I don't like leaving the house without my crystals. I feel lost. Same thing with tie-dye. Unless I have I have to have tie-dye on. I think it's all the colors, all the chakra colors in one. It's another new thing. Okay? Chakra colors. Every day balancing the chakras because of wearing tie-dye. Here we go. Tie-dye. Another video about that. I'm in the crystal shop, and we had about 10 minutes to spend there. And I'm looking around. Here we go. My vibe is high because I'm out and about, enjoying the beautiful weather. I'm in a crystal shop, and, you know, I'm just happy. And I had a shoulder purse, you know, leather shoulder purse that just went around this way, and it's rectangle square, and it just sat on my hip. And then all of a sudden I felt, you know, my purse being pulled. And I turn around, expecting to see somebody behind me, you know, like, dude, you know, why are you pulling my purse? Not a good idea to do. So I turn around, there's nobody there. So, I mean, it was clearly tug. So I'm the first one to debunk everything. I turn around and I look, nobody there. I didn't bump into anything. I'm like, whoa. Right away, solar plexus, claircognizance, I know somebody pulled my purse. It wasn't just, you know, just a sway of my body moving my purse. It was a tug. I looked down at my purse, looked around, nobody there. I looked at my husband. I'm like, somebody just pulled my purse. And he goes, okay. He goes, you and your friends. And I'm like, just totally ignored him because he, you know, he messes up my vibe. So I blocked him out and went back to, hi Walter, went back to who pulled my purse. So right away, since I didn't see anything, I had to feel the answer. So I just kind of closed my eyes and I got full body chills. I mean, my hair on my arm stood up and just like a tingle throughout my body, as if a spirit person just walked right through me or stood right next to me. And again, I looked at my husband. I'm like, full body chills, tugging on the purse. I go, there's a ghost here. There's a spirit. It's like, no. I'm like, okay, you go away. And I just sat there in the moment, happy as could be, because I'm like, wow, what a gift that was for me to sense another spirit person next to me, helping me pick out crystals maybe. All right, so that was super amazing. So anyway, so I'm trying to buy something for myself, a bracelet, because I left mine at home. And I'm looking around, and there's, you know, on the shelf, a whole bunch of bracelets, about 100 of them. I'm like, oh great, how am I going to pick one of those in 30 seconds or less? Because we, you know, had to get going. We had to be somewhere. So I'm like, here we go again. Tap into the senses. So I was just like, okay, I trust my gut. When I see this bracelet, I will know it. So I started from the right and I scanned. I'm like, pretty. That's interesting. Then I got towards the end. I'm like, whoa, what is that? So right away, you know, I asked the guy behind the counter, I'm like, may I please see that bracelet? And I mean, I looked at it like my eyes opened up, and I'm like, I've never seen this before. What it was this bracelet right here. Mookinite, Mookite. Never had it, never heard of it, but it's amazing. And I don't know if you can really appreciate the colors here. I don't know how washed out this video is, but the yellows and the reds and the browns, and I mean, they're just beautiful. And I'm like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what this particular crystal means, but I'm taking it home. And I don't care how much it costs. This is coming home with me. So I find out, obviously, by looking at, the colors. We have reds, root chakra, yellows, solar plexus, oranges, sacral chakra, a little bit of purple here, whites, crown chakra, and just, the lower chakras, pretty white one right there, that together, for myself at that time, makes me feel good to where I am in life right now. I trust my journey, and this is what these hair colors, in this bracelet told me. In that split second, I picked it up. I feel good in my skin, in my energy at this time in my journey. And I am meant to be here, and, in some creative way, shape, or form, I'm going to be able to express it, because it's important, like these videos or my blogs, because it's important to share these experiences. But here again, and I was able to look this up a little bit, and this Mookinite, it's from Australia, refers to running water. Running water happened to me my birthday weekend, Cancer, crab, water, crabs. It was meant to be, and this also connects to the elements of Mother Nature, outside. And this particular weekend, the amount of nature that I saw was unbelievable. I mean, I saw a Hercules beetle. Thing was this big. I've never seen it before. I've seen all kinds of animals, an otter, and, all kinds of crazy things that in a matter of like 2 days. And it was just a great connection with Mother Nature. So this bracelet connects mainly for me with the lower chakras and the crown, and with the elements of nature. Perfect for me. Okay. All right. So that is my story of the crystal shop. Again, going back to mediumship. How do you know, Walter, don't bite my bracelet. How does this mediumship stuff work? Okay. High vibe. And if you sense something, go back to your senses and say, what did I just experience? Did somebody pull my purse? Or why do I have these chills? What does it feel like? It doesn't feel like air conditioning. It doesn't feel like an open window. It doesn't feel like a draft. It felt good, and it hit right in the heart chakra. It just feels different from like the normal drafts or chills that you get. Trust the feelings and notice patterns. When you feel, tugs again, and spirit will tug you. They've touched me before, pulled my hair, and and all kinds of crazy stuff. And it's amazing. And it feels good. So note how you feel when you have these experiences. Okay, so that was the story of the crystal shop. All right, now another, and I'm going to keep this kind of brief because we're up on 19 minutes now. On the way home from our trip to the cabin, it's about a 2-hour ride from the cabin to where I live now, and a pleasant ride at that. So we're leaving the house, we're leaving the cabin, and I was kind of bummed we're leaving the cabin, but we're going to be there in another 2 weeks or whatever. And I'm saying, oh, that was so fun. We did this and this, and I'm going through and reliving in conversation with my husband the things that we did for this weekend. It was so fun. The foods, the drinks, the people, the events, the things we did, the places we went to see, the nature, the weather, everything was perfect. It was amazing. So here I'm vibing high. I'm like, oh, it was just so good. And then we're about, I want to say, maybe 15 minutes, on our journey on the way home. And kind of clear out of the blue. And I was playing Uno on my phone because I love Uno. And clear out of the blue, I said to my husband, so I go, when we get back to the house, what are your plans? What are you going to do today? And he's like, I don't know. Maybe cut the grass? I'm like, okay. So then all of a sudden my mind went from visualizing him cutting the grass. Then I'm thinking about our garden in the backyard. We're growing tomatoes. And I'm like, okay. And then we also need to probably pick more tomatoes because they grow like a weed at a certain point. And then I'm thinking tomatoes. Then I'm remembering that we brought a whole bunch of tomatoes to the cabin that we didn't use and we left on the windowsill. And I'm like, oh no. I said, where are the tomatoes that we brought to the cabin? And he's like, oh crap. He goes, we left them on the windowsill. I'm like, okay, we got to turn around and go back. Because leaving tomatoes that were already ripe on the windowsill for 3 weeks in the sun, coming back to that, at the cabin, I don't know what mess that would be, but I'm thinking I'd have tomato paste on the windowsill and, the cabin be filled with fruit flies or something awful. So I'm thinking, I'm like, oh my gosh, we have to go back to the cabin and get those tomatoes off the windowsill. Luckily, we were only 10 or 15 minutes away. Turned around and went back. And I'm like, wow, I go, isn't that amazing how 1 minute, I'm playing Uno, and then within 10 seconds, the conversation went, I'm playing Uno. What are you doing this week, when we get home? I'm going to cut the lawn. We have to pick tomatoes. Tomatoes. Oh no, tomatoes at the cabin. Let's go back and get them. And then I looked at the clock, and it was 11:11. Boom. That's how mediumship works. What do you mean, Donna? What do you mean that's how mediumship works? Okay, so clear out of the blue, a thought was put into my head. Donna, you need to go back to the cabin and get those tomatoes off the windowsill, because when you come back in 3 weeks, a month, whatever it is, it's going to be an awful mess. So somewhere along the line, whether it was an angel, a past loved one, a guide, whoever, doesn't matter, we're going to call it spirit, put this thought in my head to get back to the cabin because it was in my best interest to pick up those tomatoes. And the validation was the time. It was 11:11. Now, unless you kind of are, I'm not into numerology either, but unless you kind of know those magic numbers like 1111, 222, and all that other, all those other numbers, 444, whatever it is, that's how you can confirm or validate that the experience you just had was just a little special because of the number because of the time. Okay? All right, so wrapping it up, we're 23 minutes and 15 seconds. I don't want to chat much longer. So going back to the question, how do you do this mediumship thing? You just do it. You just live, but you pay attention to your senses and what's going on around you and how things unfold and numbers. Okay, it all intertwines. Hi, Walter. It all intertwines. It's all related. There's no magic book. Well, there's a lot of books that will kind of tell you what to do and research it. But depending on the person, it'll be different how you connect. Out of a decade or so of coming out in public and doing mediumship, I simplified so much, and it's just the three of us, me, myself, and I, and probably some crystals that help me along my journey. That when you just, and I'm doing this to say surrender, I'm just putting myself out there. I am open to the spirit world. We are one. We are together. I'm here to communicate with you. I'm here for you. Let's live together. Let's work together. Because with spirit in my life will only get better. With spirit in your life, your life will be enhanced. But you got to look for the signs. Okay? Signs and symbols and numbers and all that magic. All right, guys. So 24 or just about 25 minutes. I'm going to end it right here. and look forward to more stories, apparently tie-dyes and the cabin, to come sometime in the near future. And again, I'm Donna Frasca, psychic medium, and thank you for joining me, Mornings with a Medium. Bye-bye.